Just 5 minutes ago, everything shifted dramatically. Representative Jamie Raskin approached the podium during the House Oversight Committee meeting, raised a hefty black dossier, and declared 7 words that will resonate throughout American history. I possess evidence of the Epstein cover-up, not conjecture, not hypotheses, not hearsay whispered in shadowy corners of the internet. Evidence. A compilation of 2,300 pages of internal FBI communications, emails, memos, directives, a documented trail revealing a concerted effort to obstruct justice from 2019 to 2025. And seated at the witness table, observing this event unfold in real time, was FBI Director Kash Patel. If you're unfamiliar with this channel, know this: Jamie Raskin never makes false claims. He's a constitutional law professor from Harvard, has taught at Georgetown, and was the lead impeachment manager against Trump. Every word he speaks is calculated. Every document he presents is verified. And today he came prepared to destroy the FBI's credibility with their own words. The chamber was packed, every seat filled, journalists standing against the walls, cameras from every angle. You could feel the electricity in the air. Something big was coming. Everyone knew it. Patel arrived with 6 lawyers. 6. He'd never brought that many before. His eyes were red, tired. His movements were more lethargic than usual. He sensed that something was amiss. He just wasn't aware of how severe the situation was about to become. The unidentified package allowed me to rewind to 12 hours earlier. Late last night, around 11 p.m., a package was dropped off at Jamie Raskin's office. It had no note. No explanation was provided, just a USB flash drive. On that drive, 2,300 pages of confidential FBI records, internal communications that were never intended for public viewing. Emails exchanged between field offices in Washington, memos sent from directors to their staff, directives to halt investigations, directives to suppress evidence. Raskin's team labored through the night. They validated each document, reviewed metadata, matched dates and names, confirmed authenticity. By 6 a.m., Raskin made a statement to the press: "I will be making historic revelations in today's hearing." The media went into overdrive. What did he find? Who was he targeting? Now we know. The first hour, business as usual. The hearing started normally. Other committee members asked their questions. Patel gave his rehearsed answers, evasive, vague, the usual dance. Then Raskin's turn came. He walked to the podium carrying that thick black file, red letters stamped across it: confidential declassified. "Director Patel," Raskin began, placing the file on the table with a heavy thud that echoed through the chamber. "Today we will be discussing the Epstein cover-up. But this time there's no speculation. This time there's no theory. This time I have evidence." The room went silent. You could hear the air conditioning humming. Raskin opened the file, 2,300 pages, FBI internal correspondence from 2019 to 2025, and these emails show how the Epstein investigation was systematically sabotaged. Document 1. The 34 names. Raskin pulled out the first document, held it up for the cameras. This is an email dated June 14, 2019, sent from the FBI's Miami field office to Washington headquarters. Subject line: Epstein high-profile targets. He began reading. In this email, the Miami office informs Washington, "We have 34 high-profile names, supported by testimony, flight logs, and photographic proof, seeking approval to initiate investigations. 34 names, 6 years prior, evidence collected, prepared to investigate." Raskin took a moment to pause. He let the information resonate. Then he retrieved another document. "Here's the reply from Washington." He read it deliberately, stressing every word. "Not available at this time. Please wait." Signed, Director of the FBI. The room was filled with chaos, shouting, murmurs of disbelief. Journalists were hurriedly typing. Raskin's voice pierced through the clamor. "Not convenient at the moment. 34 names. Suspected child abusers. And Washington instructs us to wait." But he was far from finished. The document avalanche ****. Raskin started to present documents one after another, each one more incriminating than the previous. This is August 2019, 1 week after Epstein's death. FBI internal memo, quote, "The Epstein case will be closed. All side investigations will be suspended." Signature, Deputy Director. Another document. January 2020. 6 months before Ghislaine Maxwell's arrest, an FBI analyst writes to superiors, "We have enough evidence on Maxwell. Why aren't we taking action?" The response, "Political sensitivities. We are waiting." Political sensitivities. They had the evidence. They had Maxwell in their sights, and they waited because it was politically sensitive. March 2021. Following Maxwell's sentencing, an internal report from the FBI stated, Maxwell has identified 47 individuals. Investigation advised. A handwritten note in the margin read, "Not approved, high-level decision." Raskin fixed his gaze on Patel, high-level decision, who was responsible for this decision, director, which senior official prevented the investigation into 47 child abusers. Silence reigned, utter silence. Patel's attorneys were urgently whispering among themselves. Patel remained expressionless, staring straight ahead. The February 3rd directive asterisk Raskin produced a single-page document from the back of the file. "Now I'm presenting you with the most concerning document." It bore the FBI letterhead and was dated February 3rd, 2025. This was 2 weeks after Patel assumed the role of FBI director. This memo, Raskin said, was sent from the FBI director's office to all field offices nationwide. Subject: Epstein investigation, new directives. Began reading and the chamber became absolutely silent. Effective immediately, all active files related to the Epstein investigation will be transferred to headquarters. No field office may initiate or continue investigation without central approval. All witness interviews are suspended. All document requests will be rejected. He paused, looked up at Patel. "And at the bottom of this directive, Director Patel, is your signature." The cacophony was overwhelming. People leapt to their feet. Cameras were swung about aimlessly. The chairman pounded his gavel. "Order, order," I observed Patel's expression, devastated. His legal team leaned closer, whispering urgently. Yet Patel seemed oblivious to them, immobilized. Raskin awaited the hush. Then he carried on, "Director Patel, do you acknowledge this document?" No answer, no reaction. "Director," one of Patel's attorneys stood up. "My client requires time to go over this document." Raskin raised his eyebrows. "Time? This document has your signature, Director." "How long do you need to identify your own signature?" Patel finally responded, his voice barely above a whisper. "This document is taken out of context." The context asterisk context. Raskin pulled more documents from the file. "Let me give you context." He laid them out one by one. "After this directive, the directive you signed, FBI activity related to the Epstein investigation decreased by 94%. Witness interviews stopped. Document analyses stopped. Field work stopped." He looked directly at Patel. "You took office and the Epstein investigation effectively died. Is this your context?" No response. Raskin continued, "Another interesting coincidence. On the day you signed this directive, February 3rd, 2025, there was a meeting at the White House. You attended that meeting. 2 hours after that meeting ended, you signed this directive." The implication was clear. Someone at the White House told Patel to shut down the Epstein investigation. And he did it. What was discussed at that meeting, Director? The Fifth Amendment asterisk. Here's where everything collapsed. The most senior of Patel's lawyers, gray-haired, 60s, expensive suit, stood up. "Mr. Representative, my client is exercising his Fifth Amendment rights. He will not answer this question or any subsequent questions." The Fifth Amendment. The right against self-incrimination. The chamber erupted once more. Raskin allowed the disorder to persist for a moment. Then he projected his voice above the noise. "Fifth Amendment. The right to refrain from testifying against oneself. The FBI director believes that answering questions about the Epstein investigation could lead to self-incrimination." He turned to face everyone in the chamber. "American people, are you processing this? The FBI director, the highest law enforcement official in the nation, cannot respond to inquiries regarding a child abuse investigation due to the possibility of incriminating himself. Let that settle in. The leader of the FBI has just confessed that discussing the Epstein investigation could make him culpable." Raskin closed the file. This is no longer a question of doubt. This is no longer theory. This is a cover-up collapsing before our eyes. The list of 47 asterisk, but Raskin had one more bomb to drop. He pulled out a final document, different format, looked like a spreadsheet. This, he said, is the list of individuals the FBI marked as not to be investigated as part of the Epstein case. Official FBI document created in 2021, updated in 2025 during Director Patel's tenure with the status, permanently closed. He held it up. 47 names, and next to each name is a code explaining why they won't be investigated. He began reading the codes. Code A, political sensitivity. 12 names marked with this code. Code B, diplomatic relations. 8 names. Code C, national security. 15 names. He paused, looked around the room. Code D, executive branch protection. 12 names. Executive branch protection. The White House is shielding individuals from investigation. Raskin's tone grew stern. Do you grasp what this signifies? This signifies that the upper echelons of the American government are safeguarding child abusers from scrutiny. Patel's attorneys were in a state of panic, jotting down notes and murmuring. Yet there was nothing they could do. The documents were authentic. The proof was undeniable. The breakdown. Let's analyze what Raskin has just revealed. June 2019, Miami FBI possesses 34 names along with evidence. Washington instructs to hold on. August 2019, Epstein passes away. The FBI promptly closes the case. All related investigations are halted. January 2020, the FBI has evidence on Maxwell but fails to act. Political sensitivities. March 2021, Maxwell names 47 people. Investigation recommended. Rejected by high-level decision. February 2025, Patel becomes FBI director. 2 weeks later, signs directive shutting down all Epstein-related investigations. Does this 2 hours after White House meeting. Result, 47 people permanently protected from investigation. Coded by reason, political, diplomatic, national security, or White House protection. This isn't conspiracy. This is an established truth supported by the FBI's own internal messages. The final words. Raskin collected his documents. Director Patel, I intended to have a discussion with you today. However, you chose to invoke the Fifth Amendment. That is your prerogative, but it also acts as an admission. He lifted the file. These records will be made public tomorrow. All 2,300 pages, every email, every memo, every directive. The citizens of America will witness it themselves. He glanced one last time at Patel. And those 47 names, they will eventually be revealed. Perhaps not today, perhaps not tomorrow, but they will come to light because the truth inevitably prevails. He stepped away from the microphone. I have concluded my questions, Mr. Chairman. Aftermath. The hearing technically continued. Other representatives asked questions, but no one was listening. Everyone's mind was on one thing: Raskin's documents. Within minutes, Raskin 47 was trending worldwide. News channels went live, experts analyzed. Everyone asking the same question: who are those 47 names? We don't have the names yet, but here's what we know for certain. First, the documents are real, metadata verified, dates consistent, signatures authenticated. These are genuine FBI records. Second, the Epstein investigation was deliberately sabotaged. From 2019 forward, first delayed, then stonewalled, then officially shut down under Patel. Third, 47 individuals are being actively protected. Political sensitivity, diplomatic relations, national security, executive branch protection. Someone at the highest levels is shielding them. Fourth, Patel knows everything. His invocation of the Fifth Amendment makes that clear. Innocent individuals do not decline to testify. Those who are not implicated in a cover-up clarify their actions. Patel chose to remain silent because speaking could lead to self-incrimination. Why this is important: over 250 children suffered abuse. They were trafficked. Their lives were shattered. The FBI possessed names. They had evidence. They had testimonies from witnesses. Yet at every opportunity, the investigation was obstructed. not due to a lack of evidence, not because the witnesses were unreliable, but because those involved held too much power. They were too well connected. They were too shielded. That does not represent a system of justice. That resembles a protection scheme for the powerful. When the FBI director opts to assert the fifth instead of clarifying why he halted a child trafficking probe, the corruption is no longer concealed. It's openly acknowledged on the record, under oath. The pattern asterisk look at the pattern across these cases we've covered. Ted Lieu questioning Patel. Asterisk exposed that important files never reached Patel's desk despite his claim they did. Revealed 47 names in an internal report that officially found nothing. Thomas Massey interrogating Patel. Asterisk showed FBI has FD 302 documents naming 20 men who Epstein trafficked victims to. Patel admitted he never personally read them. Elizabeth Warren exposing Bondi. Asterisk documented $847,000 in Russian-linked payments followed by policy advocacy protecting those exact payment channels. Now Raskin. Asterisk 2,300 pages proving systematic obstruction from 2019 to 2025. Directive signed by Patel himself shutting down all investigations. See the pattern. Every time the evidence exists. Every time someone buries it. Every time the powerful walk free. What happens next? Asterisk tomorrow Raskin releases all 2,300 pages publicly. Every document, every email, every memo. Anyone can read them. Patel will face subpoenas, criminal referrals likely, perjury if he lied in prior testimony, obstruction of justice for that February 3rd directive. The 47 names, they are on their way. Not specifically from Raskin, but leaks occur. Anonymous sources speak out. The internet digs deep. Those identities are present in FBI documents. Now the world is aware of their existence. A secret can only be kept as long as people are unaware of its existence. Raskin just revealed that there are 47 names being safeguarded. The search has begun. The uncomfortable truth here, what Americans must acknowledge, the system is not dysfunctional. It functions precisely as intended, to protect authority, to shield the well-connected, to ensure that wealth and power elevate you above accountability. Jeffrey Epstein did not act alone. He had clients, associates, accomplices, wealthy individuals, influential figures, men whose exposure could unsettle institutions. And those institutions opted for protection instead of justice, chose silence over accountability, chose cover-up over truth. The FBI had 34 names in 2019. They were told to wait. They had Maxwell in 2020. Told it's not politically convenient. They had 47 names in 2021. High-level decision, don't investigate. By 2025, the entire investigation was officially killed, files centralized, interviews suspended, field offices forbidden from acting. That's not incompetence, that's coordination, that's conspiracy. Your role asterisk if you've watched this far, you need to do something. This video needs to be seen by millions. The algorithm tends to hide content like this. It doesn't get promoted, instead it gets lost in the feed. Please like this video, leave a comment below, share it everywhere you can. That's our way of combating the suppression. In the comments, let us know, who do you think the 47 individuals are? What should be done about Patel? Will the complete truth ever emerge? Subscribe and activate the bell notification. Tomorrow, when those 2,300 pages are released, we'll dive into them. Every shocking detail. This isn't just for entertainment, it's about accountability. This is justice that needs to be acknowledged. Asterisk asterisk the final question asterisk asterisk 5 minutes. That's all it took for Jamie Raskin to expose the entire cover-up. 2,300 pages of proof, 47 protected names, an FBI director taking the fifth. The uncomfortable question we're left with. If this cover-up is this obvious, this documented, this provable, what else are they hiding? What other investigations have been shut down? What other influential individuals are being shielded? What additional offenses are being concealed under the guise of political sensitivity and national security? The Epstein case is not an isolated incident. It's merely the one that gained too much attention to be entirely erased. How many others have gone unnoticed? That's the true terror. Not that this cover-up exists, but that it likely isn't the only one. Patel sat at that witness table, flanked by 6 attorneys, and chose to remain silent. Not because he lacked knowledge, but because revealing the truth would ruin him. The documents reveal everything. The silence validates it. The invocation of the Fifth Amendment solidifies it. This is what institutional corruption looks like. Not dramatic conspiracies in smoke-filled rooms, just memos, emails, directives. Bureaucratic language hiding monstrous crimes. Not convenient right now. Political sensitivities. High-level decision. Executive branch protection. Those are the words used to protect child abusers, to shield rapists, to bury evidence, to deny justice to more than 250 victims. Tomorrow the world will witness it. 2,300 pages, the FBI's own statements. Incontrovertible, unassailable, compromising. The cover-up is unraveling. The truth is on its way, and there's nothing they can do to prevent it now, because Jamie Raskin was ready. Meanwhile, Kash Patel had nothing to offer but silence. Justice may take time, but it is coming. Subscribe, share, demand accountability. This is merely the beginning.